Okay, guys, let's get started with our session without any further ado. Before that, a quick formal introduction. My name is Mohammed Shoaib. I'm a cybersecurity trainer certified from EC Council. EC Council is the leading certification organization regarding the cybersecurity domain. Okay, and gives you various courses from very basic to advanced level in the whole domain of cybersecurity or computer or network security or forensics or whatever related to the domain of cybersecurity. And our demo session today is on the first very basic and foundational course, which is called Certified Ethical Hacking. And every year the version changes, and the latest version that is running now is version 11 of the system, of the whole course. Okay. And before I get started with the course, this is a common question that I regularly ask all the students just to understand their perspective as well. So again, to keep this interactive and fun, guys, please answer the questions if I ask you. Again, don't mind whether your answers are correct or not, doesn't matter, whatever comes to your mind. Okay, just to understand what your perspective is on this topic. Okay, so in your terms, guys, can anyone tell me what is hacking or what brought you to this demo? And in your terms or in your perspective, whatever you heard about it, what do you think hacking is? Anyone? Again, guys, let's keep this a bit interactive and fun, not just one-sided. Please feel free to give out your views. Anyone? Babaji, Granthi, Jayasurya, who else?
Accessing data without permissions.
Sorry, Raghavendra, I couldn't hear you properly. Could you please repeat? Thank you for initiating.
Yeah, accessing data without permissions. That means that particular person don't have any authorized to access, but he is somehow hacking the system and checking the data.
That's a great answer, Raghavendra. That is very to the point and very precise, and it is exactly right. There's nothing wrong in that at all. Okay. So building up on your words itself, so trying to get access to data from information systems without the permission. That's to the point apt answer. Okay. So if I just start to define it out, as you've mentioned, hacking is the procedure of trying to gain access to information systems. Okay, or the data in the information systems. And these information systems could be anything at all. They could be from as small as a mobile phone as big as a web application server or a cloud network. Okay, and this is done without the permission or the consent of the organization owning those systems. Okay, so once the hacker gets access to the information or the data, again, he could use it for his own benefit. He could steal the data, destroy the data, or just sell the data on the dark web. Okay, sometimes they even just delete the data completely for fun. Okay, now if hacking seems such a malicious task, why do we have a course called ethical hacking? Is the second question, because ethical is something which is completely legal and which is completely allowed. Now, how are these two contradictive terms coming together in the same phrase is the main question. How is hacking getting ethical? Okay, now to define ethical hacking out, on the other hand, this is the procedure of trying to find vulnerabilities. Okay. A vulnerability is nothing but a flaw, a weakness in the source code or the application. Okay, now these applications could be anything. They could be your third-party remote applications, or they could be your system applications, or the whole operating system itself. A vulnerability could exist anywhere. So a job of an ethical hacker is to find these vulnerabilities or loopholes in the systems with the permission of the organization. Okay, this is done with the permission and by abiding by the laws and policies of the organization. By working hand in hand with them, they find the vulnerabilities. And once they are found, they are reported back to the organization so that they can patch it up. And once a vulnerability is patched, once you disclose that vulnerability and remove it, that closes the doorway for the hacker to cause any harm or to exploit those vulnerabilities. So thereby, with ethical hacking, you're trying to find the vulnerabilities before the hackers and you're trying to remove them so that it does not cause any further harm to the organization. Is this clear, guys? Are these definitions clear? What is hacking and what is ethical hacking? Any questions or doubts up to this point? Okay, assuming that no one has any questions, proceeding further. So depending on these two definitions, guys, again, we can categorize the various types of hackers. There's someone known as a black hat hacker. There's someone who's a gray hat hacker. And finally, there's someone known as a white hat hacker. These are the three professional hacker types that you usually come across in the cybersecurity domain. Black hat hackers are also known as cyber criminals who perform hacking for their own benefit. So they, without asking for consent, you just get access to the data on the remote servers or on the target devices without permission. They perform hacking. Okay, so those are known as the black hat hackers. On the other hand, the hero of the story is the white hat hacker, also known as an ethical hacker or a penetration tester. Okay, these are the people who abide by the laws and policies of the organization and work in their compliance so that they can find the vulnerabilities. Once they are found, they report it back to increase the security of the organization. And in between, there's a gray area where these third party people called gray hat hackers fall. They are also known as bug bounty hunters. So like a black hat hacker, they do not ask for permission, but like a white hat hacker, they perform hacking and try to find the vulnerabilities and report it back to the organization. But they don't do it for free. They do it for something known as a bounty. A bounty is a reward for disclosing a vulnerability. Okay, so they have both the features of black hat as well as a white hat hacker. Therefore, the name gray hat hackers. Now, all these three types of hackers, whether it be black hat, gray hat, or a white hat hacker, perform hacking or ethical hacking in a systematic fashion. Okay, they follow a set of procedures that are also used in the same organization level as well for ethical hacking, and these are the steps as follows. So this whole procedure is known as hacking cycle or cyber kill chain in an organization. Okay, again, there are 5 important steps for this. The first step is information gathering. It can also be called as reconnaissance or footprinting. Second step is scanning. It can also be called as enumeration. Third step is gaining access. Fourth step is maintaining access. And the last step is reporting or clearing traces. Okay. Now the reason we have specifically mentioned or in the last step is because that is where it makes all the difference between a black hat hacker and a white hat hacker. If you're a white hat hacker, you try to report all the steps that were taken. Okay, so you try to generate a report of all the previously taken steps and the information gathered or the vulnerabilities found, and you give that to the organization. If you're a black hat hacker, you would never try to report it, obviously, but you try to remove all the evidences so that you cannot be traced out or you could not be found. And that is known as clearing traces, deleting all the log files, deleting all the information which could lead back to your location is what is clearing traces. Now, let's briefly discuss about each of these terms one by one so you have a clear picture of what we're going to be discussing or learning in the course. Okay, so the first step is information gathering. As the name itself suggests, this step is a very crucial part of the whole hacking cycle, because if you do this right, almost 60% of the job is done, where you have to try to research about the company or the target and gather information about it passively. What I mean by passively is that you're try to get information without the company knowing about it, that someone is trying to get their info. Okay, now what kind of information are you trying to get over here? This is as follows. So you try to get information such as the target IP addresses, the range of IPs used by their servers, the whois record, their DNS server records, employee details such as the contact numbers or email addresses or the usernames and passwords that were leaked on the internet, and the domain names, the subdomains, operating systems of what the target is using, and so on. So all this information, guys, trust me, is readily available on the internet to be gathered. If I show a very brief example, I can just go to my browser. Let me open up my browser quickly. And in my browser, I can search for a website called hunter.io. Okay. Now, once I search for Hunter, this is a website which streamlines and gives you information about any professional email address of any working employee. Okay. So if you want to search for a company, for example, if I search for wipro.com, this starts giving me the email addresses of the employees of Wipro, which were leaked on the internet. So if I click on find email addresses, you can notice over here, I get all the professional emails of the working employees, okay, as you can see, at the rate wipro.com. Now, these could be used by hackers or ethical hackers to perform phishing attacks, sending malicious links to those emails and getting their usernames and passwords. Again, this can be repeated for any organization. So if I search for, let's say, Infosys.com, and if I click on that, this gives me the email addresses of Infosys. It also tells you which company or which domain they belong to, whether it is HR or communications or support or whoever it be. Okay, now this is one good resource that hackers or ethical hackers could use to find the email addresses of working employees of any organization to proceed further into gaining access attacks, like performing phishing attacks or getting their personal usernames or passwords from the fake login pages and stuff. Okay. Now, similarly, there's other important websites as well that we'll be discussing in the coming classes to get all this other information also. And all this information, as I've mentioned, guys, is gained from third-party sources. Okay. So from other third-party organizations or websites, you try to get this information, which is exactly genuine and true. Okay. After information gathering is done, after you get this external information about any target organization, then you go with the next phase, which is scanning. Now, scanning is a very important phase after information gathering to get some extra info by making active connections. What I mean by active connections is that rather than getting it from third-party sources, you directly contact the server of the organization. So if it is wipro.com, you're going to contact or send packets to the wipro.com server, and in response to those packets, you get some extra juicy information. So again, these are the three categories of scanning whenever you talk about this topic. So firstly, you perform network scanning to try to figure out on the target network what all active devices are existing. On those active devices, you try to perform port scanning by using some important tools such as Nmap or Angry IP Scanner or Nessus to check out what all ports are open, and on those ports what services or applications are running. Once you know the services and the applications, then you perform vulnerability scanning to figure out on the target system are there any vulnerabilities which can be attacked on. So in this topic, we're going to be using very important tools, guys, such as Nessus and Nmap. So these are the same tools that I used in organizations as well. If I show you an example, I can just go to my browser and show you this tool called Nessus. So this is the same tool as I've mentioned, guys, that is used in real-time scenarios in organizations. So if you notice that this is a very expensive tool that is used by pen testers, and you can notice it is for $4,000 for a 1-year subscription. Okay. Again, there's a trial version as well that we can use to learn this tool or for performing penetration testing in individuals who are starting their career. So I have this tool loaded on my system as well. If you notice over here, this is how the Nessus tool looks like. So once you log in with your credentials, once you create an account on this, you can notice this is how the Nessus tool looks like. You can perform various types of scanning in an organization. You can perform a network scan, an advanced scan, a malware scan, a code scan to check different components and local organization. And once you scan, it lists out all vulnerabilities, as you can see. This is how it displays the list of vulnerabilities weaknesses in an organization system. So in the real-time scenario as well, you perform automated scanning like and try to get the results. And on those automated scanning reports, you try to perform manual testing, okay, which is nothing but manual penetration testing or gaining access.
Yeah,
After
your
information
voice is
gathering.
not coming actually.
Oh, 1 second, guys. Just a second. How about now? Is it clear now?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Please do let me know, guys, if there's any audio issues for anyone else. I'm so sorry, I don't know. Could be a network issue or could be a droppage of audio somewhere here and there. I hope it is fine for everyone now.
Yeah, fine.
Okay, perfect. Now, once scanning is done, once we use these tools to perform automated scanning, then we go to the next phase, which is gaining access. So now, gaining access again is a vast topic, guys, which covers a huge variety of discussions or topics. And this is the list of all the various courses, the various topics in it. So the first topic that we learn in gaining access is system hacking. How do you try to crack or bypass a Windows operating system password? So if you have a system which is completely locked, how do you try to crack that operating system password? Or if you're unable to crack it, how can you bypass it and get access to the internal data? Okay. Then we talk about malware attacks. Again, malwares are nothing but malicious softwares, a very important concept in cybersecurity because most of your cyber threats happen due to malware, such as viruses, worms, Trojan, ransomware, rootkit, whatnot. Okay. So we'll practically learn how these Trojans are created and how do you defend yourself from these kinds of Trojan attacks. What are the defense methods that could be used for each and every Trojan? Again, it might vary from one malware to the other malware. Okay, so your defense techniques or the defense methodologies might vary from malware to malware, and we're going to be learning about each and every malware in detail. Okay, then there's a bonus concept called malwares advanced. This is not included in the CH curriculum from EC Council. We have just added this so students have a better understanding of how malwares are developed. So in this, I'll be sharing the resources and I'll be explaining you how you can write or create your own malwares using Python programming. Again, you don't need to learn Python separately. Whatever is required for that specific topic or that specific part, we'll learn the code for it specifically. Okay. Then comes network penetration testing. where we learn all the common network attacks that could happen internally. So there's attacks like sniffing attacks, man in the middle attack, denial of service attacks, or hacking Wi-Fi routers. All this relate to the network components locally. So we'll understand how these attacks can be performed, using which attackers could get access to usernames or passwords or credentials in a local network. Then comes social engineering attack, where we learn how hackers create fake websites. Okay, how do they generate fake login pages? How do they perform or send phishing emails? And how do you defend yourself from these different types of social engineering attacks? Then comes web application pen testing, where we learn all the common website vulnerabilities. So using these vulnerabilities only, hackers try to get access to the internal web servers or get access to the database and get your credentials. So there's various kinds of weaknesses such as SQL injection, cross-site scripting, broken authentication, file upload vulnerability, cloud security, whatnot. Then comes vulnerability assessment and hacking mobile phones, where we'll also learn how to hack into an Android phone remotely by using Trojans. Okay. So again, it's a very comprehensive course where you're covering each and every endpoint, whether it be in a local network or whether it be a mobile phone or whether it be a web application or whether it be related to malwares or to again kind of malwares or hacking Wi-Fi passwords or hacking system passwords. It's a very comprehensive course where you're each learning on each and every endpoint in a local or a remote network. Again, after gaining access is done, then you go with maintaining access, where I show you how hackers try to maintain persistent connections. What I mean by persistent connections is that even if the victim restarts his system or shuts it down and starts it up after a very long time, how does hacker maintain that connection and get access to the data? Then finally comes reporting or clearing traces, where I show you how hackers can report all the vulnerabilities found or try to remove all the evidences. Okay, now not since not everyone could be from the technical background, so we also have a few prerequisites as well. Just a second. Yeah, so as I've mentioned, since not everyone could be from a technical background, it might be a bit tough to get started from all these advanced concepts. So therefore, we have a few introductory classes as well, which will be starting from Monday, guys. So on Monday, from Monday again, we'll be taking a few introductory classes like networking, like basics of networking, like what is an IP address, what is an IPv4 address, what is IPv6 address, what is a DHCP protocol, DNS protocol. All these are the very important concepts that you need to know in networking to get started with the course. So all these prerequisites are already included in the course, guys, so that you don't have to learn this anywhere separately. So we learn basics of networking, we'll learn basics of Linux and Windows commands, then we learn how to install virtual machines or the whole concept of virtualization. So if you notice over here, I have an application called VMware. This VMware application is very important for us to install multiple virtual machines. Virtual machines, again, the reason why we need virtual machines is because we're using a separate operating system called Kali OS, Kali operating system. If I go to my browser, I can show you. This is the official website from where we can download the Kali OS. It is completely open source and free for download. Now this is a Linux operating system. Okay, so we need to understand how to install this Linux operating system on a Windows OS. Okay, so therefore we need to use something called virtualization, running multiple operating systems on a one single OS. Okay, so therefore we learn how to install the Kali, how to use the Kali Linux, and then we dive into the advanced concepts. Okay, such as information gathering, the scanning, and so on. Okay, so again, the whole course is designed in such a way, guys, where the whole it is completely practical implemented. So it's divided in a 20-40 ratio, where the first 20 minutes in 1 hour we'll discuss the theoretical concepts, and the rest 40 minutes we're going to be discussing practical. It is a very practical course, no theoretical nonsense, no clickbait information. Everything is to the point and practical with real-time tools that are used in organizations. So we use tools like Nessus, Wireshark, Burp Pro, what do you say, Nmap. All these tools are the ones which are used in organizations in real-time scenarios for performing various tasks. Okay, so it is completely practical based. This is the whole course content. It is for 1 month, where we'll have classes from Monday to Friday. 1 month to 45 days might vary depending on the holidays and stuff, guys. So where every day we'll have 1 hour class. Okay, and the batch is starting at 7 a.m. So it might vary, guys. 7 a.m. or sorry, 7 p.m. not a.m. 7 p.m. might vary, 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. You might confirm that with the DurgaSoft Academy. And yeah, one more thing. The price for the course is inclusive of all the soft copy materials, all the live sessions, and also recordings. So just in case if you're missing out any session, we do provide recordings as well. Where each class, the ones we take, is uploaded to the Google Drive, and from the Google Drive you can access the recording whenever you want to. So yeah, that's on the course, guys. Any queries on your end? If not, I could show you a small practical for our session just to keep it interesting. If you have any questions, you can let me know. If not, I could proceed to my small practical. Any questions on anyone's end? Babaji, Grandis, Jayasurya, Raghava, Raghavendra.
Actually, what is the course fee you mentioned for this entire
It's
course?
8,000 rupees, guys. Again, if I'm not mentioned that earlier, the whole course, including the recordings, including the materials, including the live sessions, is for 8,000. Again, not to demean anyone else or anything, but this is the cheapest price that you could find the CH course anywhere in India. I teach for a lot of other institutes as well. I'm the same instructor for other institutes, and trust me, they are charging a lot more compared to this from DurgaSoft Academy for the same course content. Okay, and some of them don't even provide recordings. So again, a very good price for the whole course, to be frankly speaking. Okay, and yeah, coming to the practical part. Before that, any other questions from anyone else?
Is this an entry level or a bit advanced?
This is up to the intermediate level, guys. So this is from very basics to the intermediate level, which would get you started in the cybersecurity domain. Okay. There's much more advanced courses as well, such as SOC analysis, web application pen testing, computer forensics, and so on. So there's much more advanced courses. But to get started in the cybersecurity domain, CEH is the mandatory course. Unless and until you go with CEH first, you might not be able to grasp the other advanced concepts. It's a level, it's a step-by-step process. So if anyone has done networking also from CCS, from Cisco, there's levels of courses like CCNA, CCNP, CCIE. Similar way in cybersecurity, the first course that we go through with is certified ethical hacking. Excuse me.
Okay. And to understand this course, do we need to have the knowledge of CCNA or MCSC?
No, not at all required, Babaji. As I've mentioned, whatever concepts are required for the course, they are included in the course only. So we need basic networking knowledge like IPv4, IPv6 and all, and that is included in the course. So for the first 1 week, we'll be taking a few prerequisite concepts, basic introductory classes on networking, Linux commands, Windows commands, virtualization, and then we dive into the advanced course. So if you have basic computer knowledge, like how to operate a Windows operating system, that is more than sufficient. You don't need to learn anything else separately. Whatever is required for the course, it is included in the course itself.
Okay. And what is the system requirements we need to have to practice this all the sections?
Great question, Babaji. Again, I was about to come to that after the practical was done, but since you've asked me already, minimum to minimum configuration of 8 GB RAM, guys. If you have 4 GB as well, it will work. It doesn't mean that it won't, but your system might hang a bit. Okay, so it would be recommended if you have 8 GB RAM and minimum to minimum i3 processor of 5th generation. Okay, if you have i5 or i7, a lot better. Okay, so minimum i3 with 5th generation processor and 8 GB RAM. Okay, i5 recommended one is i5 with 8 or 16 GB. Okay.
Okay. Okay, so I have one more question.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I have 10.5 years of experience into IT field. So I am just looking for a transition in my career along with the skill set also, because I am working as a middleware admin. So I don't find good salaries in this for 11 years of experience when it goes to a senior level. So that I am looking for a skill which can have the good packages and good career growth and long-term career growth. So in that perspective, can I go with this course?
Great question, Balaji. I mean, Babaji. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing the name over there, but
No
that's
problem.
a great question, Babaji. Again, totally commendable. I would recommend you going with cybersecurity because this is a very in the beginning department, in the beginning domain. It is getting in track right now. So just like how network admins or system admins were there 10 years ago, right now cybersecurity is the leading department in which there's a lot of job opportunities at the moment. But since you have given me an information that you have already had 10 years of experience in the cybersecurity domain, I would recommend after doing CH, do an advanced course as well, just to match up to your expertise, okay, or to your level of experience of 10 years in IT. Okay, so get started with certified ethical hacking, and depending on your interest, you could select a advanced course like SOC analysis, learning Splunk tool, or learning web application pen testing. As an example, this is an advanced course that people usually prefer after going with CEH. So once you're done with CEH, I would recommend another course as well, such as web application or SOC analysis, just to give you that edge over the other competition. Since you already have 10 years of experience, doing just a singular entry-level course might not be sufficient. I'm being as frank as possible. Okay, so for your experience, again, if you're a fresher, CEH is more than sufficient. But for your experience, I would recommend you doing CEH first and then an advanced course also along with it, just to have a chance of, a much better chance of getting a job opportunity.
Okay, thank you.
Perfect. Again, guys, coming to the practical part now. Again, a very simple and very short practical, won't even take more than 5 minutes, just to show you how hackers can get access to your device information from any random link on the internet. So for example, if I just open up YouTube over here, let me show you how hackers could send a random link to you. Again, they could send it via email or WhatsApp or Instagram or a story. As their own story, they can upload a link. And if anyone clicks on that link, how do they get their information? Okay, so for example, I just select a random YouTube video. You could choose it for me as well. Let's say I go with this one. Okay, I'll just pause this for the time being, and I have a YouTube link. If you notice, this is the genuine link from YouTube. I'll just copy this out now, and I'll go to a website called Grabify, a very popular website among hackers and ethical hackers as well, to get information or to grab IP address information of the target. What this website is capable of is it can convert your link, your genuine link, into a tracking link. Okay, so all it needs is a valid URL. So I'll paste my YouTube URL over here and I'll click on create URL. Okay, now let's see what this could do. Now if you notice over here, in a minute, I have my original URL and I have a modified new URL as well. Now if this seems a bit suspicious because it says Grabify, I can also change the domain depending on my target's interest. So if my target is interested in a dating website, I could select a dating link. If he's interested in gaming, if he's a teenager, I could use a gaming link. Or if I could use anything depending on his interest. So for me, let's say I go with Stopify or Spotify, assuming he's interested in entertainment. So I could just give something like invite, and I could click on close. Now this is my new link, HTTPS secure SSL encrypted new link, and I could add some content in it. If you want free access to my Spotify album, or please check out my new album on Spotify and support, blah blah blah, anything just to convince the user to click that link. Okay, I'll just click on Smart Logger as well. I'll just copy this link, and now I'm going to paste this in our chat box over here. So again, guys, nothing malicious, nothing system hacking, or no kind of malicious activity is going to happen over here. I'm just going to show you. Please, again, I would recommend you to participate in it. Again, I'm not going to hack your device, or I'm not going to cause any harm on your system. This is just to show you what kind of information I can get off your device from a very basic link like this. And to be clear and upfront, I get your IP address information, I get your device operating system, I get your public IP, I get your ISP information, like what internet service provider are you using or getting your public IP from, and if possible, your processor information as well. This information is more than sufficient for a hacker to understand what malware needs to send to you to get your system access also. Now, if anyone has clicked on it, I can get their results over here. At the moment, no one has clicked. Again, guys, minor request, if you want me to show you the practical and the content I could click, I would recommend anyone to click on it just to show this in real time. If not, if you are a bit hesitant, no worries, let me copy this link and paste it over here in my own tab, in my own browser. And this is the new link. I'll just hit enter. And you will notice whatever YouTube page I have over here, beast mode something, that's the same thing I get over here also. As you can see, the same YouTube page opening up. Nothing, no difference, no change, anything at all. If I come back to my Grabify and if I refresh this page, whoever clicks on that link, I get their device information over here. As you can see, this is my exact IP. So if I go to my browser and search for what is my IP, this shows me my public IP, the IP that I'm using to access the internet. And you can notice that is the same IP, 122.162 something that is used over here. Country and location, and my user time, which zone I'm in, language, and my screen size, my processor, my browser that I'm using, my operating system information, and the ISP, Airtel, which is exactly true. So all this information can be gathered by an attacker just by using a very basic YouTube link as well. Now this is a combination of social engineering and information gathering attack, where the hacker is trying to get your information by sending you a link. Now it depends whether the user clicks on it or not. So he needs to make the content of that link very believable. Okay, that is known as social engineering. We are trying to trick the user into clicking the link and getting his information. Okay, now there are much more advanced attacks as well, where you don't even need to send a link. You can still get the information about the target web server or whatever IP it is. Okay, but for our time being, so this is a very small practical to show you of what information you could attacker could get from your links when you click a link. So again, a quick advisory, guys: if you get any links on your WhatsApp statuses or in your WhatsApp groups or any stories or anything, never click on them without verifying. Okay, and if you want to click on a link for safety, always use a VPN, a virtual private network, an application which could change your public IP and your device information as well. Okay, so yeah, that's a quick practical, guys, just to show you how small basic links like YouTube links also could be malicious. Okay, because what is happening over here is you're not clicking YouTube's link. You click a link, you're clicking a tracking link from Grabify, and when you click on it, it captures your device information and then redirects you to YouTube page of the genuine URL which I've selected over here. Okay, and in between, when it redirects, before that, it displays your information to the attacker first and then makes you believe that you're accessing a genuine page. So this is what is happening in the backend. Okay, so any questions or doubts, guys, up to this part? Babaji, Grandi, Raghava, Raghavendra. Raghava and Raghavendra, is it the same person or is it two different people?
No, I don't know.
Okay, I'm so sorry for that confusion, because you have the same initials as well, so that is why I got confused a bit.
Oh,
But anyways, it's nothing more to discuss further in our session. I hope you liked the session. I hope it was quite interesting, and if there's any feedback, completely appreciated, guys. Let me know if there was any audio issue or video issue, so that doesn't get repeated again in further sessions. And yeah, that's it for our session, guys. If you have any questions, you can let me know. If not, I could end the session over. If you have any technical queries, guys, one more thing. If you have any technical queries regarding any of these topics, you can contact me over here on this number. This is my personal number. You can contact me on WhatsApp. If you have any queries regarding the fee of the course or duration of the course or the batch timing, please contact DURGASOFT Academy. Okay. So yeah. Any other question?
I'm a programmer. Can I take this course actually?
Definitely,
I'm into
Raghav.
Java domain.
I totally understand. People from the development domain as well have always in my experience joined this course and have started or have shifted their domain to cybersecurity as well. So there is no harm or there is no issue by jumping your domain from development to cybersecurity. It's completely easy and worryless experience. There's minimum to less requirement of development language necessity in cybersecurity domain, Raghav, unless if you're going for malware development or for web application pen testing. Unless in those domains you don't need, in those parts of cybersecurity domains, other than that you don't need development language knowledge much. Okay, so again, even for CEH, there's minimum usage of development language necessity. Okay, so there is no issue in shifting your domain from development to cybersecurity.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Any other questions, guys, before I exit the session? Okay, perfect, guys. So yeah, that's it, guys. Nothing further to discuss for our session today. You can join on Monday, guys. Again, you don't need to. Again, on Monday will be the first class for networking. Just in case if you want to join the first class, you can join that for free as well. Nothing to worry about that. So on Monday's class, we'll be discussing basic networking concepts like what is IPv4, IPv6, what is a DNS protocol, what is the DHCP protocol. That could take for 2 days or 3 days. So again, basically on Monday we'll be starting networking. So you can join that for free, guys. You don't need to pay upfront. So just in case if you need a class demo, this is the demo for the CEH whole course. So if you want to learn how these courses, how the classes are going on, you can join Monday's class as well on networking concepts, just to get a much clearer picture. Okay. So contact DurgaSoft Solutions. They will give you the link for Monday's session, and you can join that class as well. I guess it is at same time, 7 p.m. only. Confirm the timing as well, guys, with them once. Okay. So yeah, that's it for the class, guys. Nothing more. If you have any technical queries, you can contact me on this number. And yeah, bye bye.
One more question, sir.
Yeah.
So,
Please go ahead.
yeah, what are the job roles we can have after learning this course, sir?
Great question, Raghavendra. So once you're done with CEH, you can start applying for entry-level job roles such as a SOC analyst, one thing, or junior pen tester, or even pen tester as well, depending on your certification and the again, company to company, the job role might change. But you can apply for pen tester or junior pen tester or SOC analyst. These are the three job roles you can apply for. VAPT. VAPT stands for vulnerability assessment and penetration testing. So VAPT, pen tester, SOC analyst, junior pen tester. These are the job roles you can start applying for.
Okay.
Great.
This is Ratan.
Sorry, you see?
Very, you can say zero knowledge on the cyber security. Okay, from last 2 3 days, I'm just searching, join some course, and I'm having actually total 7 years of experience in testing. Okay, so do you recommend this course for testers, and how much knowledge I required on the networking and the coding side? Can you throw some light on it?
Definitely, Raghavendra. Again, I'm so sorry I could not hear a few words because it was the voice was very low. But I guess I got the gist of your question. Again, you are from testing and you have had 7 years of experience. And again, there's no harm, Raghavendra. It is a very recommended course if you're in testing to go in cyber security. Because in cyber security, that's the main thing you do. The main objective of cyber security is penetration testing, checking if your network, of your devices, of your software, or if your web application could be penetrated, could have a vulnerability or a loophole. Okay, so again, quite similar to testing. Okay, but you use some prepaid or automated tools to perform this testing in cyber security. For web application, you have tools like burp suite pro. For network, you have other tools like Nessus and Metasploit framework, which you could use to perform a vulnerability assessment and penetration testing. Okay, a very good domain if you're already in testing. Again, you minimum requirement of networking and development is required as well, minimum to minimum. Okay, not advanced levels, development to if you have minimum or no development language knowledge as well, that is also fine. Okay, but networking is important because you need to know how devices communicate with one another, what device is interacting with which one in a network, and how do you try to perform pen testing on that device. So basic knowledge on IP addresses, on DNS DHCP protocols, or other protocols in the network like TCP UDP, this is very important. And whatever I'm discussing or whatever I've listed out, all those are included in the course itself. So you don't need to learn anything else separately from anywhere else. Whatever topics I've mentioned, TCP protocol, UDP protocol, networking concepts, all those are included in it, in the course. So again, I would recommend you join the course because this could be very helpful for you to jump from your testing, your present department to the cybersecurity domain. It's going to be a lot easier comparatively to you because it's the same, it's quite a similar domain on testing. So this course could be could be like a cakewalk if you concentrate, if you get the topics right.
Thanks.
I hope that was your question, Raghavendra, because I could not hear you properly. There was some audio dropping.
Yeah, that was my doubt.
Okay, I hope I could resolve it properly.
Yeah.
And yeah, any other questions, guys, for anyone else? Okay, assuming there are no questions further, again, guys, you can join Monday's class at 7 p.m. for networking concepts. Again, just that could be a good demo again for you to understand how the classes are going. So if time permits and if you're available, please join Monday's class, guys, on networking. Again, you can join that class and then make the payment as well. Not an issue with that. So yeah, that's it, guys. I hope you liked the session, and I hope you had. I hope I did not waste your time, and I hope you found it very interesting and upskilling. And yeah, have a good day. I'll see you on Monday if time permits for you guys. Bye bye. Have a good week. Thank you, guys. Bye bye.
Thank you, sir. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.